The first team coming on board to present Nepalese business case study is Team Greenovators. The team member of Team Greenovators are Sumit, Kumar and Deepshikha, Nepal. They are presenting the case study on DOKO Recylers. All the best.
Sampurnama Namaskar. This is Deepshikha with Sumit, and we are Team Greenovators. In today's world, where waste stands as a big problem in so many different places, let us take you on a journey where a youth idea is actually working to tackle it. It's a journey of how a single business became the DIE. DIE as in disruptor, advocate, and innovator. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the journey of DOKO, famously known as DOKO Recylers. So in 2017, these three young people came together to form a recycling business. And in no time, they figured out that even though there's tons of waste being generated in Nepal every single day, there is no enough waste to actually buy from, which is why they switched to management practices. And in the beginning, they definitely faced some of the problems, which of them were, one being the dominance of informal syndicates, waste collector, or what we call them refuse collectors, or kabadiwalas. This system was lacking green ecosystem approach, and also there was government's ignorance, not exactly because we have lack of policies, but because we lack in implementation part. Also, there was lack of knowledge amongst the public regarding waste segregation itself. And now, amidst this problem, DOKO were able to find out the gap, and the gap where the traditional method was unsustainable and had a long and tedious supply chain, which was even leaving the workers unhappy. And they also found out that they had left the gap in corporate sector, which means it is a sector which produces tons of plastic, paper, and also electronic wastes. This is how DOKO suggested their solution. They identified commercial entities as their customers. They also have their own pickup van services and their material recovery facility, which also happens to be Nepal's first ever MRF. And they also have their own digital platform, Tatva, for selling refurbished goods and recycled goods as well. These are few services as of today provided by DOKO.
Hi everyone. It vertically integrated its supply chain, reducing operational cost. It provides insurance and SSF benefits to its employees, unlike other traditional kabadiwalas. It has organized and ethically salvaged e-waste and has launched its e-waste platform called Tatva, where it sells sustainable goods and refurbished electronic goods for people to buy. Now, DOKO has been in this field for a long time and it has been a bold advocate for environmental sustainability. It does by training and fellowships, by organizing local stakeholder meetings. It also schedules site tours for students and educators to come and visit and see the ground reality of what is happening with recycling. Here are some of the pictures you can see. And DOKO has been a big mover for innovations too. It has used a green approach. It uses automation very bravely, and it has this automatic sorting machine, and which has also prevented injuries for employees to not get glass shards or metal shards injuries. It uses data analytics for optimizing its logistic designs, and has partnered with corporates like Lumbini Paper Mill to build a closed loop waste management system. And here we can see the technology evolution of DOKO. Starting 2017, they launched their website, and currently 2022, they have introduced the baling machine, which has improved the efficiency of their operation significantly. Now, what does the progress report of DOKO actually looks like? So from 2017 to 2022, the waste collected was 14 million plus kilograms of waste, with a slight backlash during COVID, but has grown exponentially since. Although we didn't get the P&L statement of them, but they said that there is a direct correlation between the waste collected and the revenue generated. We did manage to get this, that the paper waste contributes almost the maximum amount of their revenue, contributing about 60%. But it's not always rainbows and sunshines, right? we encountered some problems during our interviews and research, being revenue fluctuation as one of them, as if some corporation backs down, what happens? Then there is no policy or government subsidies and operational inefficiencies. So we asked them how they are countering them. So for revenue fluctuation, they are venturing into multiple revenue streams and going into multiple waste types. They are also applying for outside fundings and lobbying the governments to get the cash flow in absence of the subsidies. The one operational inefficiency was that the space constraint, so they are leasing out spaces and installing waste management facility at source. So that is how DOKO as a company has truly disrupted the traditional informal sector of waste management and has become a disruptor and an advocate of environmental sustainability and an innovator itself.
But this is not all, ladies and gentlemen, because an initiative like DOKO also supports national policies and, of course, global goals. As for example, it also complements the global UN Sustainable Development Goals, which has set targets and indicators to be completed by the year 2030. It directly complements the goal 12 and also complementing a few others. So are you an aspiring green entrepreneur who is looking forward to do something in the waste recycling phase, just like DOKO Recylers? If yes, then here is some takeaways you might want to take through this case study, knowing the journey of DOKO. So always look for an alternative route, because not always, you cannot always depend upon government subsidies or an individual subsidy, right? So always know your public audience, know your target audience, and educate them from the ground level. And maybe start by targeting B2B first for a better revenue type, and then move to B2C. These were a few references that we used for the presentation, and I believe that was our time. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you.
Thank you, team Greenovators. Really thorough presentation and analysis, and also very clean and neat slide. It was very easy to follow through. From the last time we met on Saturday, what are the things that you have changed and why you have changed? Could you answer that? Thank you.
So most of the things, the case study remains the same, but we have worked a bit on the presentation. We did this case study a month back, but we worked on the presentation to make sure that the delivery is clear, to make sure that our intentions are clear. And we also added the recommendation part, because what's the point of it if we are not doing so, right? So we did work on that since Saturday. Thank you.
Hello. Nice to see you again. When you were presenting in the last Saturday, I think I have asked some question about this. There's no doubt to say that case analysis for pointing out the problems, right? So you have some certain problems like dominance of kabadis, right? And the government is not serious about the waste management, lacking of green ecosystem approach. You have shown certain, you have pointed out. So you have pointed out the problem, no doubt. And I think I might have asked you that, what strategy can you develop? You are appointed as the CEO of DOKO. What strategy would you apply to overcome all these kind of problems, what you have stated?
So starting out, we have given that B2B is one way to go ahead, while also like getting the awareness down into the ground level, because B2B gives huge operation margin with low operational cost. We can procure a lot tons of waste from a single entity instead of going door to door to procure smaller quantities but a huge operational margin. So that way is one way to go ahead. And another is placing the amount really right. Last time when we met, you told about that this Khali CC as the competitor. When I looked out their website, I saw that they are procuring cardboards worth 1 kg at just 1 rupee, which is not what, as a person, I pay to informal kabadiwalas. So that price doesn't make sense to me, because as a waste, I'm not a waste producer, but from my house, I want some profits to make, right? So that pricing is not something what I would give. I would better go to an informal sector. So that is what one thing that, second thing that they could see, that price, giving that good pricing to the customers. And thirdly is that using technology, be it like the like Pathao, they have this excellent mapping, they have this excellent way of telling that where are the drivers, where are the pickup vans, and that way the people will be aware, will be able to efficiently move the operations, move the waste from one place to another. So yeah.
One more question since we have time. We have been hearing your four more बनाउने भन्ने कुरामा. There is a big challenge, and the challenge always is working with the mindset. हैन हामीहरुले नै फोर सेग्रिगेट नगरेसम्म त्यो फोर डम्पिङ साइडमा राम्ररी प्रोसेस हुन नै गाह्रो हुन्छ. And that has been one of the big challenges. How you, as someone who studied this field, this company, how would you tackle that challenge, जस्तो लाग्छ?
I think the change in mindset and the behavioral changes, as you might say, is one of the toughest thing to bring change in the world. Like we can change any infrastructure, we can bring change in the system even, but bringing change in the people's mindset is a big challenge. And I think one good way to change the mindset or try to do so is, it's of course education. I think creating public awareness is an action that is most often pronounced or written, but it is also so underrated. And I think that should start from the children itself. I think behavioral changes should start from the children because that is the best age to learn. So I think more practical approaches to 3 Rs and more practical approaches to waste management from the school itself might help bring change in coming youth and children. And I think they can also help bring change in the family, which then can be society and eventually the nation, hopefully.
I want to add one thing. So about waste segregation. So in Nepal, our municipality did provide us with 2 dustbins, but they are not following up. I studied a case study in Japan where the municipality itself provides them with 2 plastic with clear instruction written on them. It's not like that, it's torn off or it can be removed from the dustbin. So it has clear instruction, and when the municipality comes in the morning to procure them, if they found something that is not meant to be there, they directly fine them. But in our case, if the morning kabadiwalas in the 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock comes, they just like, even if we segregate, they dump it in the same place, in the same van. So municipality is doing thing, but the ground implementation is not there. So we can surely, give this recommendation to our municipality and let them see that you can, bring out 2 pickup vans, especially for these 2 segregated wastes.
All right. So I guess we'll have to call it time for the first case study. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.